Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Mary Lee. It's good to have you with us. Coming up in this week's top stories, summer camps are held in China and Taiwan to give children a meaningful summer holiday. Malaysia Tzu Chis continue to inspire members of the public with their performances of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude to parents in different cities. Finally, in the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers join hands with a local food bank and hold a summer distribution for the homeless in Portland, Oregon. We start the show in China. At the Suzhou Tzu Chi grounds in Jiangsu province, a summer camp with 4 children was held from July 15th through the 27th. Among the many activities was a hands-on farming experience, where many participants found the hard work to be difficult. At the end of the camp session, it was hoped participants would be inspired to carry out compassionate deeds and be able to cherish what they have.
These children from China's Suzhou are not holed up inside a nice air-conditioned room. Instead, they are spending their summer break at Tzu Chi Summer Camp, experiencing what it's like to be a farmer. Only through hands-on experience can participants appreciate how truly blessed they are.
I feel farmers have a thankless job. We should show our gratitude for their hard work. From now on, when I eat meals, I will eat everything in my bowl.
I felt how hard it is to be a farmer, so I should treasure their efforts or else it's a waste.
Under the hot sun, the children are experiencing what it's like to attend class outdoors, like the impoverished children in Zimbabwe. The campers can also relate to the difficulties Gansu students went through on their path of education in trying to write with a 1-centimeter pencil.
He has learned so much already. The other day when we were in a restaurant eating, I used my own chopsticks to reach for food like I usually do, and my child said to me that I can't use my own chopsticks. I have to use the communal chopsticks to grab the food. Although it was a small detail, I felt that he has really changed.
From living habits to performing a sign language musical, Tzu Chi's Children's Summer Camp inspires compassion and change in all who participates.
Also about Tzu Chi's summer camps, in Kunshan, Jiangsu province, a 6th grader who used to be a problem child has transformed for the better since participating in Tzu Chi's events. Meanwhile, in Taiwan, 2 parent-child camps were held where both adults and children walked away with knowledge to last a lifetime.
In Taiwan's Songshan district, Tzu Chi volunteers are holding another parent-child camp. Though every year a new theme is introduced, the emphasis in learning through hands-on experience stays the same.
I have very little knowledge in fish types as I don't read much about it in my spare time, so it's good to come here to receive the correct information.
What is the difference between chemical ingredients and natural ingredients? Camp participants try their hand at soap making to understand the difference. The instructor also mixes a drink to simulate beverages made in stores to drive the point home. After taking a sip, no one wants a second cup.
Every day we are consuming food that is artificially made. When we go home and remind him to eat less of it, my kid will understand.
Meanwhile, in Xindian district, another parent-child camp was held. As the participants reach the venue, a word of wisdom is given. Together, over 100 parents and children reflect on habits they have been keeping. Seeing those less fortunate, some participants immediately change themselves for the better.
Before, I would just toss away the food I couldn't finish, but I know better now. I won't waste food anymore, and I will also adopt a vegetarian diet.
It's very sad that some children in Haiti don't even have food to eat, so we need to cherish what we have to eat.
In learning to count one's blessings, living a simple lifestyle isn't difficult.
This camp has given my child an opportunity to learn about gratitude and cherishing blessings. I hope we have a chance to participate next year.
Also not idly wasting their summer vacations are the children from China's Jiangsu province. who are rehearsing for an upcoming performance of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude to parents. Wearing a pair of glasses, giving directions to fellow campers, is Li Kunshan, who used to be a real headache for his mother.
He would go and look for trouble. Even if the other students were not bothering him, he would pick a fight with them. He also mentioned the other children at school dislike him.
Previously, I would be easily upset.
The lessons learned in Tzu Chi summer camp in China or at the parent-child camps in Taiwan will last both adults and children a lifetime.
To broaden students' horizons, Hualien Tzu Chi College of Technology organized an exchange trip for its students in which they visited Singapore, Malaysia, and Myanmar. Since setting foot in Malaysia, both teachers and students have received a warm welcome from local Tzu Chi volunteers.
Students of Hualien's Tzu Chi College of Technology arrived at the University of Science Malaysia for a cultural exchange where they hope to learn more about the different customs.
It is the month of fasting for some Malaysians. Although we don't eat at the same time, they're still very accommodating and understanding of our culture by preparing food for us.
Situated in Penang, the University of Science Malaysia has one of the largest student enrollments in the nation. This is the second year that Tzu Chi College of Technology has brought its students to visit. Despite speaking different languages, it is through sharing their passion for music that brings the students together.
Like just then, it was great that a student played guitar and we got to sing together. It made our cultural exchange trip more interesting and fun.
Before the end of their visits, TCCT students share their thoughts of the trip in English.
I very like the in Finland. Yes, it's a beautiful island like Taiwan. So I will come back again to meet everyone.
Whether it is students from Taiwan or Malaysia, all have gained a valuable and rewarding experience.
As this year marks the 10th year of the establishment for the Tzu Chi Media Team, in the past few days we have brought you reports on its history and the life stories of many media volunteers. Besides recording the Buddhist NGO's work around the globe, media volunteers also play a vital role in home visitations. Let's take a look at a story from media volunteer Chen Qingxiang's team.
Jingmen is huge, but there are only a few Tzu Chi commissioners, so I should join and give what I can.
Wang Huiqi is a training volunteer in Jingmen who happily participated in her first training seminar in March of this year. Little did she know that within 2 months she would be diagnosed with cancer.
I wonder why I was diagnosed with cancer, and it's such a severe illness too.
Since falling ill, Wang has had to fly to Taipei every 3 weeks for chemotherapy. During this time, media volunteer Chen Xiangqing, who came to know Wang through an interview, took it upon herself to take care of Wang Huiqi. Besides sharing what's been taught in the training seminar, Chen also brings other volunteers to visit her.
这个也很重要。对，吉祥嘞。对对，身体不舒服，可是心里不要哭。啊，祝福祝福啊，不要哭，啊，祝福自己。
Pray for yourself and speak to your body. Repent that you haven't taken good care of yourself, and now you will cultivate wisdom together.
This illness isn't something I was expecting, but there must be a reason why it happened. It forced me to take a break, and only then have I realized that I am loved by so many others, like our Tzu Chi brothers and sisters in Jingmen and Taipei.
Despite her illness, Wang Huiqi remains positive and hopeful, and finds peace of mind through expressing her emotions through drawing.
You always carry a camera with you, so I thought that you could make a record of what you have been through and also the training you have participated in to help others. Illnesses can be treated, but you need the Dharma to help you rid yourself of your worries.
Through walking into the lives of others, media volunteers write their own life stories and at the same time pass on Tzu Chi's care and love to those around them.
Next up, Tzu Chi's in Malaysia continue with their tour of the musical rendition of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude to Parents. Recently, they arrived in Langkawi and Perlis for their second and third stop, and their performance took the audience by storm. Here's more.
At 4 a.m. as the sun is about to rise, Tzu Chis are already busy counting heads and getting ready for their second stop at Langkawi. Though having to travel for nearly 3 hours, no one complains. Everyone just wants to put on a good show. Among those taking part in the musical of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude to Parents is a care recipient who once received Tzu Chi's help.
When my husband was sick and we were feeling helpless, Tzu Chi helped us a lot. I don't have money to donate, so I give what I can to show my support.
Very nice show. The message is really very touching and very true, and it's a good lesson for the parents as well as the children.
The musical makes its third stop at Perlis, where Tzu Chis had to put in more efforts to call on members of the public to join.
There weren't as many young people in Perlis, so we had fewer Tzu Chis. We were limited in our ability to call on others to join us.
Whomever we come across, we spoke to them about the musical, and slowly more and more people came. We are grateful. We don't know much, but we just do our best.
Whether performing or coordinating the event, all the Tzu Chis were much inspired in the process.
I was deeply moved when I was performing on the stage, and then I saw how the audience members were also moved. I feel like I not only assisted in the organizing and fundraising of the event, but also reached out to many in need.
We are able to inspire others when we give a little of ourselves. We can let them know about this great sutra as well as remind them to be filial.
Through the sign language musical, Tzu Chis all hope to share the concept of filial piety with whomever they come across.
We hope to inspire more people with our musical, so that when they return home, they will fulfill their filial duties.
In Malaysia, 37-year-old Li Youyu suffers from cerebellar atrophy, which affects her brain functions as well as her mobility. Tzu Chi volunteers have been visiting Li for the past 3 years, and with her positive outlook on life, she has left a great impression on the volunteers. Li now does recycling at home to reciprocate the love and care she's received.
Using a walker to get around is difficult, but it does not affect Li Youyu's determination or mobility.
I know how to mop the floor, and I can also clean up the kitchen. I don't want to bother others, so I do the work myself.
Li Youyu, who is 37 years old, suffers from cerebellar atrophy, which affects her mobility and intelligence. However, she continues to look on the bright side of life.
Being sad about my condition doesn't help. We need to be happy. I'm just suffering from a sickness, but I can still do my part to help others like they are helping me.
Testing Li's limit was not only her illness, but the passing of her mother, and both her father and her husband leaving her. In the past 3 years, Tzu Chi volunteers' love and care not only brought Master Cheng Yin's wisdom to Li, but also a renewed sense of purpose.
When Tzu Chi people visit me, they explain how I can help others, so I've slowly learned how to do it.
In wanting to help others, Li became a Tzu Chi member and also donates to her bamboo coin bank every week. Moreover, she also practices recycling and has recruited her younger brother to do so also.
Previously, I would just break the cotton down and throw it away, but my sister said Tzu Chi can take them and recycle them to help people, so whenever I have cottons, I will bring them here so she can give them to Tzu Chi.
With her brother now her only family, Li is however not alone, as Tzu Chi volunteers have become her steadfast friends.
I'm always happy when the Tzu Chi volunteers come visit me, as I have people to talk to. It makes me very happy.
Still in Malaysia, in Klang City, Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for low-income Indian families living in a prefabricated housing community. In May of this year, these local residents were invited to take part in a Buddha Day ceremony held in Selangor and Kuala Lumpur, after which they were inspired to start practicing recycling in their own community.
Moving bags of recyclables out is Pubalan, a resident of a prefab housing unit in Malaysia. Today, he and his neighbors will take part in their first ever joint recycling event.
Because last time my first person I going to explain to them, they don't understand. Then now every day I go and see them, then they can understand. Then everybody now today come and join here already. Then I feel very happy, you know.
A week earlier, Tzu Chi volunteers and some residents distributed flyers to inform local residents of the joint recycling event.
Before, I threw away all my cans and bottles, but now I collect the name and give name to Tzu Chi. He told me to do so.
Everyone, young and old, quickly becomes proficient. Among the residents is Pak Yang, who used to sell recyclables for money, but now is motivated by a different goal.
She doesn't feel tired because she knows it's a way to help people.
Actually, I'm very happy because I can join my neighbors in sorting recyclables together.
Because they're not yet Tzu Chi volunteers, they do not know much about Tzu Chi's ideals. However, they still sense the Dharma joy that comes from practicing recycling. They're sharing that joy with their neighbors, and that is a good start.
Now with the community-based recycling point and Tzu Chi volunteers' help, more and more residents can be seen joining hand in hand to protect the environment.
Back in Taiwan, as part of their regular home visits, Tzu Chi volunteers in Penghu call upon care recipient Ms. Chen, who suffered from depression. Thanks to the volunteers' company over the past 3 years, Ms. Chen has gotten rid of her bad habits and vowed to better shoulder the responsibility of looking after her ailing mother.
Here in Penghu, Tzu Chi volunteers once again arrive at Miss Chen's house to visit her and her mother.
我代表那个跟你结缘的人跟他感恩我们一起跟你感恩没有跟这个人我们一起我们一起跟结缘人感恩他
Over the past few years, Tzu Chi volunteers have consistently offered aid and emotional support to the family.
They would ask me if I am all right, encourage me, and give me advice.
Since the volunteers started their regular visits, however, Chen has shown some improvement. Now she can do household chores, cook and take blood pressure and blood sugar readings for her mother.
When we came here the second time, she could already fold the clothing. She used to be a heavy smoker, but now you see there are fewer and fewer cigarette butts on the table.
Every time Tzu Chi volunteers visit, Chen's mother always shows up to extend her gratitude.
Thank you for helping us. Thank you so much.
Because of Tzu Chi, the relationship between the senior and her daughter-in-law had shown great improvement. Thanks to Tzu Chi volunteers' love and support, here recipients find the strength to move on.
In the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers recently held a summer distribution for the homeless people of Portland, Oregon. This time, working with a local food bank, volunteers were able to provide food and water, as well as clothes and other necessities. At the recent event, they were able to help around 200 people who needed it most.
In front of Oregon's Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association, many homeless line up waiting for Tzu Chi's summer distribution to begin. This time, food and water were provided by a local food bank, while clothes and daily necessities were prepared by Tzu Chi volunteers.
Thank you very much. You people are wonderful.
So I'm glad I can be able to get some help, and I'm grateful. Thank you.
I just
want to thank the Tzu Chi Foundation. I hope I said that right, because God bless you all. I got a lot of things that I really, really need that I don't have money to pay for. So God bless you all. Thank you.
Although the meaning of the song may be lost in translation, the sentiment of it can still be felt. Towards the end, some recipients were inspired to donate their spare change into the bamboo coin bank.
I think if the world or society had more people who gave selflessly, like I saw in today's event, then that would be beautiful. I am very grateful that I had an opportunity to participate in today's activity.
At the end of the day, Tzu Chi volunteers show their appreciation for the Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association support over the past 4 years by tidying up the environment around the facility.
In Hualien County, Taiwan, many children from remote villages lack good hygiene habits, which leads to head lice as a common problem. In order to nip the problem at its bud, Tzu Chi volunteers and medical staff from the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital travel to these communities, bringing both information and treatment.
Tzu Chi volunteers recently traveled to Hualien County's Jingmei village in Shouling Township to educate parents and children on how to ensure head lice does not become a problem. Joining the volunteers are also medical staff from Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital. Setting up at a local home, volunteers and staff discuss how to prevent head lice and also help to wash the heads of those who have already contracted the pest. In addition to washing heads, volunteers also help residents clean unsanitary living conditions, which could be a potential breeding ground for head lice.
Teaching them about health and sanitation is our responsibility. In fact, it is the responsibility of everyone. They are not in the habit of it yet, so we have to take the time to carefully explain to them what they need to know in a way that they can accept.
Schools have been instrumental in stopping head lice in students, but with the summer vacation here, it is up to the volunteers to step in to ensure that the children and the families don't fall back into their old habits.
Starting with the families, we can create an overall increase in sanitary conditions. Once informed, parents will ensure that their children cultivate good habits such as frequent hair washing. By educating the parents, we can create good habits in children.
Together, Tzu Chi local and medical volunteers are making sure that the children in these villages stay healthy and free from the annoyance of head lice.
In Tzu Chi, media volunteers are the first to arrive and the last to leave an event, documenting activities from start to finish. This weekend, with participants from 11 different countries, the annual Global Media Volunteer Training Seminar is being held in Hualien, Taiwan. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Have a good weekend.